naman yan, ang final, ang ating exams, 30%, ang GT ang highest weight, kaya huwag niyong pababayaan yung GT nyo, at syempre yung exam. So all of it, ang lab, although 20% lang yan, madami yan, kaya malami kayong chance to improve your grade or your academic standing here. And then for your class participation, so ito ay face-to-face lang, pero i-slash natin to online. So just like what we are doing right now. So your class participations will be graded based on our face-to-face or online classes. Okay, so a total of 100. Okay, and then ito yung transmutation table. So this is the acceptable or allowable, okay, na excuse or absences. Okay? So, ayan. Tignan nyo na lang. Anyway, may copy naman kayo dyan, I believe. Galing sa student, ano yan, activities office. Okay? Sa SDFO yan. Okay? So, of course, if you have incurred an unexcused absence or absences beyond the allowable, then you'll receive a grade of 0.00. So, class ito, non-negotiable ito sa akin. So, kung, excuse me, for example, ang ito, allowable. So, tayo ay, how many sessions do we have? 18. Kung umabsent ka na ng 4, including yung date ng, excuse me, ng special assessment or midterm or final exam, do not approach me anymore kasi non-negotiable sa akin yan. Kasi yun yung mga kumbaga ay always present is challenge in the particular course. How much more kung hindi kayo a-attend ng session. Kasi the reason, ang implication niya na hindi kayo umattend, you don't need this class anymore. So, ang mamimiss nyo, yung experience doon sa loob ng classroom, which play a very critical role in your learning. So, kahit sabihin pa na you're willing to catch up with all the previous requirements like GTs, activities, ang hindi nyo na kayang balikan yung experience doon sa classroom, sa session, which like I said, it really plays an important role in your academic learning. Yun ang hindi nyo na mababalikan. Kaya, non-negotiable sa akin yan. So, if you are planning na to attend my class, better yet, i-drop nyo na lang para hindi managdagan yung inyong failing grade. Okay? Kasi I'm just following the protocol. And personally speaking, I support that protocol as well. Kasi yun ang hindi yun na mababalikan. Okay? So, I hope hindi na kayo umabot doon. Ano? Okay. So, I think hanggang week na to ang enrollment. So, I don't know kung meron pa incoming. So, mag-adjust na lang tayo. So, basically, class, this is our pre-engagement essentials slide. Okay? So, nabanggit ko na yung attendance. So, sa akin, ang attendance, like I said, is important. You need that. Unless you don't need the professor's intervention and you can learn alone without my intervention. Okay? So, of course, ang attendance record nyo plays an important role as well. So, may bearing yan. You will immediately get 5% outright dun sa inyong grade if you have a perfect attendance. Alam niyo ng mga previous students ko. So, I really do that. Okay? In all my classes. Kaya, make sure. Right now, perfect attendance kayong lahat. So, it's up to you if you wanna maintain this 100% rate. or kung gusto niyo ng less than 5% sa inyong class participation. So how about the other 5%? So the other 5% will come from your participation in all our sessions. So standing pa rin yung rockstar natin. Okay? So you have to accumulate number of stars. So how will you accumulate number of stars? Okay? So anybody from my previous class who would like to share his or her thoughts dun sa number of stars? Okay? So anyone whom I can ask? Okay. Anyone who would like to volunteer? Lalo na yung mga nag-earn yan. So, I think si EJ, ang una kong nakita mag-raise ng hand. EJ, can you share with our group? Yeah.
So, para po maka-accumulate ng star is, yun nga po, magsasagot po pagka sa board work po and sa magpa-participate po sa discussion. Yun.
Okay, thank you. EJ, so, nakakuha ka ba ng stars before?
Yes po, ma'am, sa board work po.
Okay. And do you think nakatulong ba yun dun sa iyong grade, yung stars na yun?
Yes po, miss. Natulungan po ako para po makapasa.
Ayan, okay. I'm sure hindi lang para makapasa. Yan. Very humble itong mga previous students ko. In fact, magaganda yung naging grades nila. So, I remember. Okay? So, kaya dun sa mga bago sa aking klase, so I hope you will participate in all our sessions for you to accumulate as many as you want na stars. Kasi the more, the better. Okay? Kasi at the end of the semester, I will be selecting the rockstar. At yung rockstar, yun yung may perfect na plus 5 points or outright plus 5 doon sa grade. So that means kung 65 yung grade nyo, at the end of the semester upon computation, and then kayo yung rockstar, it will become 70. Pero in history-wise, wala namang mangyari na ikaw ay rockstar tapos passing lang yung naging grade mo. Or 55 rather. 55 yung grade mo and then rockstar ka, so may plus 5 ka. So automatic 69 yung grade mo. So I hope na that will encourage everybody to be present, not just physically present, but mentally present during my classes. Okay? So, what else do we have here? So, for the communication platform, ayan, may GC tayo. Sino yung author ng ating GC? Sino yung author ng GC natin? Sorry ha, dun sa ating yung ECE Compro na T2A. Sige, gawa na lang tayo ng bago. Okay. Sino yung class president natin right now? Si Sofia pa rin ba? Sophie, are you still the class president?
Si Aldred na po ang mayor namin.
Si Aldred na. Okay. So, Aldred, I have to ask you to assist me. Pakigawa ng ating GC T3A Microsys school year 26-27 para ma-distinguish lang doon sa ating mga existing GCs na. No? So, Aldred, are you here?
Yes,
Do you have any? Okay. Thank you.
Na pa. Sige.
Okay, thank you so much. So, alam mo na naman ang aking profile. So, class, please allow Aldred to add you in our GC. That will be one of our communication platforms. But I believe magkakaroon naman tayo ng calendar para clear what will be our agenda each and every session. So, I think minimal naman ang magiging function ng ating GC. But at least, meron tayong platform just in case may mga emergency situations. Okay? So, for us to be on the same page. 15 lang naman tayo, so manageable naman yun. Okay? So, yun na yung rewards and freebies. Apart from the stars, meron din tayong rewards and freebies like plus 1 point sa cheating. So let's say I have a challenging question or a challenging activity in our session. Let's say whoever will accomplish the activity at a given time will gonna have plus 2 points sa upcoming GT. So, something like that. So, doon sa ating class record, just in case meron kayong reward or freebies na kuha, so you have to put that in our spreadsheet, yung nasa Let's Get Settled item, yung spreadsheet natin kanina. So, if you will look at the basic spreadsheet, so on the rightmost part, so makikita nyo yung mga rewards and freebies. Ilalagay nyo lang doon yung date, kailan nyo yun na-acquire, and then ano yung freebie na na-acquire nyo. Is it plus point or stars? And how many stars? Okay? And then at the end of the semester, I will be asking you to submit your accumulated star dun sa GC natin. Okay? So, ayan. I guess yung groupings and self-sign-up were done. So, we're good to go. So, time check, 8:58. So, we still have 1.5 hours to proceed with our class. So, I hope you will bear with me, class, ha? Kasi, although this is day 1, we have to maximize our time. So, instead of just having our orientation today, we will jumpstart to our lesson 1. Okay? So, where is my presentation? Okay, for our course overview, okay, so, this is the course description. You will see this as well in your syllabus. So, ang syllabus nandun din sa ating Canvas. Can somebody read the course description on screen? Okay. Anyone? Okay, thank you. Mr. Mendoza? Yes, please.
Digital Electronics 2, Microprocessor and Microcontroller Systems and Design, Microsys. It covers concepts involving microprocessor or microcontroller systems, architecture, organization, including microprocessor, microcontroller programming, interfacing techniques, memory systems, and bus standards. In the laboratory, the students will be involved with experiments using microcontrollers and the use of microprocessor, microcontroller development systems, and other tools. Experiment topics include assembly language, program topics, interfacing with input and output devices, data transfer between microcontroller-based circuits, and the PC via the serial port or parallel port.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mendoza. So, as you have heard from Mr. Mendoza, so I'd like you to pay attention to the microcontroller systems architecture or microprocessor / microcontroller systems architecture. In our computing devices, okay, we only have 2 types of brain, and these are the microprocessor or the microcontroller. Okay, so all computing systems, regardless of the type of computing systems, okay, the brain of that system is either the microprocessor or its microcontroller. Now, what is an example of a computing system? So, say your laptop, okay? Your laptop is run by a microprocessor, okay? And that is the reason why if somebody will ask you, what's the model of your laptop? What you will tell him or whoever is asking the model of your laptop is the model of your microprocessor, because that is basically the heart or the brain of your device. That's the most important part. It runs the codes or it executes all the instructions so that the end user or you alone will basically have a session with your device. Now, everybody here, let me ask you, what's the model of your laptop? Okay, can you give your answer using our chat box? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to answer the question. What's the model of your laptop or your computing device? Sige nga, everybody. Unless bago yung device nyo, most probably you are not yet aware or it's not yet on the top of your head. Pero kung matagal na yung device nyo, it should be at the top of your head already kung ano yung model of device nyo. Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Okay. And then, Mr. Murcilia. Okay. So, let me go over with your class record kasi I prefer to call you by your nickname para komportable rin kayo. Ano? So, parang napaka-formal naman, Miss Kubia, Mr. Mendoza. So, si Duen. Duen, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, pa.
Okay. So, thank you for being the first one to answer my question in the chat box. Okay, I can see the rest, so keep it coming, class. Let me see. Okay, so we have like okay, Intel, Ryzen, Aspire. Okay. May naka-Apple rin. Okay. So, medyo dynamic pala ang ating mga devices. So, importante rin yan kasi class, doon sa ating system files, okay? Iba't iba yung style kung paano kayo ma-execute or how will you use the assembly language. It depends on the microprocessor. Kaya microprocessor dependent, okay, ang ating subject. Kasi nga, we're talking of microprocessor and microcontroller systems. Okay? Sa systems pa lang yun, how about the design? So, we'll talk about that later. So, let me see. Okay, so I believe almost everybody, if not all. Okay, so it's a combination of, mixture of yung mga microprocessors natin ay Intel, Ryzen, and then Apple, and then we have the Aspire. So, ayan. And then, Lenovo. Okay, ang Lenovo natin, majority ay run by Intel as well. So, if you will, my device here is also a Lenovo. Okay, and it is run by i5. Okay, Intel i5. So, and then, okay. So, what's the difference between the brand and the model? Brand ng inyong computing device. Yung Lenovo is a brand, okay? So, just like my laptop here. Now, the model is the i5, the Intel Core i5. Why? Because that's the processor of the computing device. So, basically, that dictates the model of your laptop. So, that's why when somebody asks you, most probably, you can deep dive further with the model of your device by giving them the model of your or the size of the memory. Okay, but basically, you're good with telling them the model of your processor. So, okay na yun. Okay? Thank you for giving me the model of your computing devices. So, how about the microcontroller? What's the difference between the microprocessor and microcontroller? So, these are some of the questions that you will answer. So, before you finish this course, you will have a very distinct answer between the microprocessor and microcontroller. So how will you distinguish these two types of computing brains. Ayan. So, ano ba difference ng microprocessor sa microcontroller? So, sabihin niyo sa akin, Intel po kasi yung microprocessor, yung microcontroller, Arduino. Okay, that's an example. So, what's the difference between the two? Okay? And then, so, that's the core part of our lessons. Okay? While the design, that is basically the reason why you need to come up with a project in this subject, because by applying any of the two, you may apply microprocessor or you may apply or implement a project using either microprocessor or microcontroller. So it's up to you. I will not tell you which one to use, because in the corporate world, you should be knowledgeable. Okay? Both these systems, whether it's a microprocessor or a microcontroller, so you should be knowledgeable. Okay? And since you are the one who will propose your chosen project, so you will be the one to choose as well whether your project will be controlled or will be run by a microprocessor. Sometimes we call it PC-based project, meaning ang brain ng inyong project will come from your either laptop or any other microprocessor base. Okay? So, sometimes we call it PC-based, but technically speaking, in general, it is microprocessor-based pag sinabing PC-based. And then, MCU-based kapag microcontroller ang brain ng inyong project. So, that is where you will learn how to design and build. So, design ang ating isang essential part ng ating lesson. Kaya you will design and build, or you will design and implement what you have designed. So, ano yung design? So, you will design a particular system with all its schematic diagram and everything, the input and the outputs, and then you will have it implemented. And that is your, that will be one of your requirements. So, yun na yung inyong final project. Okay? Now, anong purpose nito? Bakit kayo gumagawa dito as an electronics engineer? So, why do you think microsys is an important subject? Well, I'm telling you, this is really one of the most important subjects for future electronics engineers. So, why do you think so? Anyone? Anyone who would like to share with me his or her thoughts? Why do you think this is important? I'm seeing Miko. Yes, Miko, can you give us your answer, please?
Kasi po, I think po, microprocessors and microcontrollers are important to learn as ECE po, because a lot of modern electronics po na ginagamit natin ngayon ay nagamit po sila ng microprocessor and microcontrollers, and ang microprocessors, microcontrollers po, I think po are like the basis po ng ilan po sa mga thesis na ginagawa po ng mga students. So they're really important po, and they're really good technology to use po for electronics engineering students.
Okay, thank you, Miko. I got two concepts from your answers. So this is important because a lot of systems nowadays are run by either microprocessor or microcontroller. That is correct. So I'll give you a star for that. And another thing is, of course, you will be applying the subject in the creation of your thesis project. That's another thing which is also important. So I'll give you 2 stars for your answer. How about the others? I'm still looking for another answer. So we got 2 here. Majority of the systems nowadays, including the programmable logic circuit or PLCs, these are the systems being used in a production area. Okay, that is run by either microprocessor or microcontroller. So, and of course, you are very much correct, Nico. You will apply. So you have to maximize your participation and your learning in this subject because you will be applying this. The more you learn from this subject, the more you will be equipped, okay, towards your thesis project. In fact, class, I would like to challenge you as well, each one of you, okay, or each team, to, come up with a project na sa tingin nyo ay potential thesis project din. Okay? And then kung ano yung target ninyo na thesis project, although second semester pa, am I right? Sa second sem pa kayo may thesis 1? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Luel. So, although sa second sem pa or next sem pa yung inyong thesis 1, I'd like to challenge you to think of your target thesis project na. Syempre, yung thesis project which you are, pretty much interested. Ayan. I wouldn't say a thesis project which you are comfortable because it should be something that captures your interest, not captures your comfort. Okay? Because sometimes what's best for you is not comfortable. Okay? If you really want to do something, you make yourself comfortable to that thing. Okay? Not the other way around. That you just need to do what comforts you. Okay? So, kaya, ang advantage niyan, class, kapag nag-isip na kayo as early as this semester, kung ano yung target thesis project nyo, you will hit 2 birds in 1 shot in this subject. Mag-guide ko kayo dun sa upcoming thesis nyo by having our sessions in this subject. And then yung microprocessor or microcontroller part, yung control system, which is the heart of your project, pwedeng gawin nyo na in this project. At yun na ang gawin ninyong project in this subject. Okay? So, 2 birds in 1 shot kayo. Natapos nyo yung crucial part, yung most important part, one of the most important parts ng inyong project. While one of the most important parts only. Kasi another thing are the input and output modules or input and output parts of your project. These 2 things are equally important with the control system itself. So, kung magagawa nyo yun, talagang ideal yun from your end. Makakatipid na kayo ng mababawasan yung challenge nyo sa inyong thesis project. And nakakaupo naman ako sa mga thesis projects ng ECE, both bachelor and masteral, kasi I had been invited several times sa mga thesis works, mga thesis defense ng mga nagma-masters, both ng sa computer engineering and electronics engineering, and also electrical engineering. So, I can guide you kung gusto nyo lang. Okay? I'm just giving you that privilege. Okay? If you are willing to take the challenge. Okay? Now, if not, it's okay. Okay? So, kaya malaking part yung subject na to sa inyong thesis project. And you can basically jumpstart to your thesis project using this subject already. Okay? So, what else do you think? So, parang ang makikita ko dun sa answer ni Miko, so maraming systems are run by microprocessor and microcontroller. Okay? I'm looking for another answer, which is sometimes. Ayan, so I am seeing Duen. Okay, Duen, can you give us your answer?
Since ang microprocessor po, nagpa-process po siya, kailangan niya po na parang data po muna first hand para may ma-process siya in the first place. Whether input system po yan, tapos kapag na-process na po, idadaan po siya sa output display. Either po pa-display or other, or pa-loop po system, pabalik po sa input ulit po.
Okay, so your thoughts actually is also correct, Duen. So I'll give you 2 stars as well. Okay, so meron kang data for the input and for the to produce the desired output. So that is also correct. So, but I still have 1. Okay, I'm looking for that 1. And alam nyo class, itong answer which I am looking for, okay, directly is related doon sa future, one of the future careers ng isang electronics engineer. And in fact, okay, I have seen one of the models here, okay, na yung career na yun ang gumawa doon sa model na yun. Okay? So what do you think is the answer I am looking for? Which is one of the reasons why you need to take this subject. Anyone? I'll give 3 stars to whoever give me the answer I am looking for. Well, both answers from Miko and Duwin are correct. Okay, and on top of that, okay, this is something that not all ECE students are aware of, and right now I'd like you to be more aware of that. Okay. Anyone? Going once, twice. Okay, excuse me. So I'm having a bit of cold here, so please bear with me. Okay, so wala na? Okay, sige. Yes, somebody would like to try? Eman? Okay. Sige nga. Can you give us your answer? So, Enzo rather. Okay. So, you would like me to call you Enzo, right?
Yes po.
Okay, Enzo. What's your answer?
Ito po yung mostly sa generation po ngayon yung advance po and ginagamit na rin po para po gamitin sa mga AI po. Ganun.
Okay, so what do you think is the role of the subject for you as a future engineer? Eman, are you an ECE student or a CPE student?
CPE student.
CPE, okay. So actually, this is pretty much relevant, and the answer I am looking for is pretty much relevant to all 3 professions: computer engineer, electronics engineer, and electrical engineer. Any of these 3 professions can have this career in the future and with a great application of this subject. So what do you think is the career I am looking for? Okay, Enzo, I'll give you a star, okay, for your answer because that is correct as well. So these systems are being used nowadays in AI platforms. So that is correct. Without this, there will be no such thing as AI and all other applications of computers. So nasa end result kayo. So okay. So I guess I need to already share with you. Okay. How many of you knew si Steve Wozniak? Can you raise your hand? Or can you give a thumbs up? A reaction? Okay, so I have seen some of you raise your hand. Some have given a thumbs up. How about the others? Okay, so ayan. How about the rest? Medyo hindi familiar pa sa inyo si Steve Wozniak. Si Steve Jobs, kilala nyo, right? Can you give a thumbs up if you are familiar with Steve Jobs? Familiar sa inyo si Steve Jobs? Pero si Steve Wozniak, who is more important than Steve Jobs, if I may say so. Kasi even if there is a Steve Jobs, if there will be no Steve Wozniak, there will be no Apple. Okay? There will be no what do you call this, iPhone and all these Apple devices. Okay? So, who is Steve Wozniak? Can somebody share with the group? So, yung ilan na nag-thumbs up or nag-raise ng hand. Okay, so I can see si EJ. Okay? EJ, can you introduce to everybody? Sino ba to si Steve Wozniak?
Si Steve Wozniak po yung para po nag-ayos po ng architect po nung sa Apple po. Yung po para pong computer architect po.
Ayan, very
Si
good.
CEO.
So, you already hit the role I am looking for. Steve Wozniak, thank you, EJ. Si Steve, I'll give you a star for your answer. So, si Steve Wozniak is a computer architect. Okay? Plus, if computer architect is not yet familiar with you, ang hiring rate for becoming a computer architect, hiring rate yan ha, as soon as you sign your contract with all these companies, okay? Building a new model of microprocessor, okay? We call it computer architect, yung role na yun. 6 digits class ang hiring rate niyan. So, no computer architect, excuse me, will sign a contract without a 6-digit basic salary. Of course, on top of it, may mga perks and privileges yan. So, apart from the allowances and all these privileges. Okay? So, si Steve Wozniak ang kauna-unahang computer architect ng Apple. Without Steve Wozniak, there will be no Apple. Siya yung nag-design and nag-implement ng unang microprocessor o unang brain ng Apple device. So, ang tawag pa noon ay Macintosh. Okay? So, yung brain ng mga devices na yan, lahat ang foundations niyan, yung microprocessor that was designed and built by Steve Wozniak. And got to think of it, anong course ni Steve Wozniak? Anong major ng engineering profession? Yes, si Sid.
Electronics engineering.
Ayan. So, biro nyo yun? Ang the man behind these Apple devices ay isang electronics engineer. Siya yung computer architect, kauna-unahang computer architect. Siyempre, marami ng computer architects ang Apple ngayon, okay? Pero lahat ng umpisa sa kanya. And he is an electronics engineer, okay? I'll give you a star Sid for your answer. Alam mo na ba yun matagal na Sid or nag-research ka lang? So, I don't mind kung nag-research ka lang ngayon. Sid, are you aware of Steve Wozniak from the beginning or right before we take this session? Or nag-search ka lang today?
Alam ko na.
Alam mo na? Okay. Okay, very good. So, I hope si Steve Wozniak will serve as an inspiration from each and every one. So whether you are a computer engineer in the future, an electronics engineer, or an electrical engineer, you could be a computer architect. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, if you are aware, etong tatlong engineering programs na to, merong microprocessor system sa kanilang curriculum. Okay? Kasi nga, any of these engineering professions can land a computer architecture job. Okay? Walang pipigil sa inyo. Okay? And in fact, this is one of the prominent roles that you can take in the corporate world. Okay? And I will be happy to hear from you in the future that you are designing a new model of microprocessor. Okay? Please feel free to let me know. Okay? Syempre, I will be happy na somehow makakatulong sa inyo yung subject na to dun sa future career nyo na yun. Okay? And if you happen to be part of the team who will develop a new model of computer. Pag sinabi natin new model of computer, ibig sabihin, may bagong microprocessor model yan. At try to imagine kung kayo ay isa sa mga team members na nag-design ng microprocessor na yan. At ang foundation in the design of a microprocessor model is, of course, one of which is logic circuits. So, kaya narito kayo ngayon, pasado na kayo. You pass the logic circuits or logic switching theory. Okay? So, pumasa na kayo dyan at meron kayong naging project dyan sa subject na yan, which is also an application of this in this subject rather. Okay? So, kaya we have to recall yung learnings nyo from logic circuits, especially yung manipulation ng binary numbers. Kasi, ang foundation ng lahat ng microprocessors, okay, all computers, okay, manipulates binary digits. Okay, kaya prerequisite ng microsys ang logic circuit. So, I hope you will still remember your logic circuits concepts. Okay? So, now, if we will look at the description once again. So, ayan, microprocessor and microcontroller. So, I hope clear na bakit pinag-aaralan nyo to. Aside from yung application ng microprocessor at microcontroller sa mga systems right now, as like what mentioned by Miko earlier, at yung application nito, okay, sa thesis at yung manipulation ng data for input and output that are being processed by the systems na sinabi kanina ni Duet, at application dito sa AI that was mentioned by EJ or Sid, am I right? Okay? Bukod doon sa application dito, yung design dito mismo, okay, parte ang electronics engineers and computer engineers and electrical engineers. So, instead na kukuha lang kayo ng microprocessor tapos i-apply nyo dito sa mga systems na nabanggit, the design itself of the microprocessor and microcontroller, kayo yun. Okay? In the future. Kaya kailangan yung pag-aralan nito. Okay? And, syempre, in understanding the microprocessor and microcontroller, you need to understand as well how the memory and the interfacing works. Okay? Kasi, like what Miko said, okay, ito ang nagsisilbing controller ng mga systems nowadays. Okay? All systems, regardless of the type of systems, are being run by microprocessor or microcontroller. And how will it run or how will it produce, okay, the desired output from the data that serves as an input, okay? Siyempre, kailangan ng mga interfacing, okay? Kailangan ng memory systems because an instruction will be executed by a microprocessor or microcontroller through a memory. Without a memory, the microprocessor or the MCU cannot work alone, okay? So, it needs memory. Whether it's a microprocessor or a microcontroller, there should be a memory system. Okay? And if there is a memory system, it's a separate part. So, there should be an interfacing. There are two packaging, okay? Two types of technologies of microprocessor or MCU. Meron tayong tinatawag na yung typical, okay, na ang ating chip ay microprocessor lang or MCU lang, and then may separate chip or system for the memory. Pero meron tayong tinatawag na single, okay, chipset na ngayon, na isang chip all-in. Okay? May microprocessor na, may interfacing na sa loob, may iba't ibang components na, memory systems, bus interfaces, and all. Okay? So, kaya, importante na maintindihan nyo, paano paano ba nagdudugtong-dugtong etong mga important components ito to run an entire system? Okay? With the microprocessor or MCU. When I say MCU, I am referring to a microcontroller. So just to simplify. Okay? And then, how does it work with memory system together with the interconnectivities? Okay? So, and an example of these interconnectivities are the interfacing techniques. And in the processing of data, okay, aside from the memory system, there is the so-called bus. Okay, bus standards or bus interfacing units or BIU. This is where your data comes and goes. Okay, so we have that in this subject. And for you to understand further how the microprocessor works, first, okay, you have to understand a low-level language. Class, when I say low-level language, that doesn't mean it is easier than the high-level language. A low-level language is more challenging. So, more difficult, if I may say so, than a high-level language. But then, when you're done with your ECE Compro already, Compro naman sa CPE, okay, or ProGLAD sa CPE, and I believe you have used either C++, Python, or Java in your ECE Compro. Kaya, you're good to go with understanding assembly language. So, assembly is a bit different. So, you need to understand the binary system of numbering plus the syntax, okay? Well, the logic remains the same. How you formulate your logic from your first programming language subject is practically the same with how you will formulate your logic here, okay? So, excuse me. Okay, so these are the things that you will learn in this subject. So, medyo heavy class, okay? Hindi ganun kadali, I'll be honest with you, hindi ganun kadali ang microsist. Kaya, you need to perform your role and do your part. So, you have to be diligent in this subject to be able to pass. So, yung remaining parts nito, yan, ito yung ating outline. So, module 1 to 4, we will talk about computer organization and assembly language, while the rest will be all about microcontroller systems. So, right before we finish our assembly language programming, you should have your project proposal already. Okay? And, of course, with an end in mind yung inyong project. So, your project, which will also be a journey. Okay? So, meron ba tayong message? By the way, class, right now, I'm looking at the presentation material, but let me go back to our GMIT dashboard. Okay. So, let me share with you. Let's go over with our modules. Okay. So, ayan. Okay, so right now, I would like you to look at your Canvas. Ayan, yung mga modules natin. I understand that all parts of your modules are viewable, but using my dashboard, you will see everything. Okay, so at this point, we're done with our introduction, and this will be our module 1. So in here, we will talk about the foundation, the basic, okay? The overview of our subject, plus, of course, you will have your debug platform. So I hope everybody was able to have a copy, yung system files na narito sa ating Let's Get Settled item. So, etong system files na to, ayan, makikita nyo. So, let me share with you this tab. Okay? So, eto yung mga system files na dapat nasa desktop nyo na. Okay? So, this is the first platform that we are going to use. So, during that topic, you will understand further ano ba yung debug. Okay? And this is something that I would like you to understand first and foremost doon sa debug at sa microprocessor. Okay? Using your debug, you can practically create a program. Okay? You can practically talk to your device. So, I am referring to your desktop. Whatever is the model of your desktop, it doesn't matter. So, you will talk to your device and you will directly give your device an instruction. So, ang typical na session ninyo sa inyong device, you click on an icon. For example, you wanna watch a video from your YouTube, so you click on your YouTube logo, okay? Or you proceed to that site, okay? Yan yung typical. Because you are just running a particular program in your device. When you click on your YouTube, you are telling your device, execute the instructions in the program YouTube. Okay? So, now, using debug, it's like you are giving the instruction itself in your device. Okay? And that's one thing. The other thing is you may use assembly language. Okay? You will definitely use assembly language to give instructions to your device as well. So these two things, these are the two ways in which you will talk to your device. Kaya dapat meron kayo ng lahat ng ito. Okay? And I suggest you put that in a certain folder para lahat na ng files ninyo relevant to the subject, offline copy nyo, nandun lahat sa inyong folders na yun. Okay? And also, you will learn how to manipulate your command line interface during module 1. Okay? When I say command line interface, CLI or command prompt, simply put. Okay? So, kaya make sure before we start that, lahat ng files na narito, may copy na kayo sa same folder. So, ito yung isang nagiging problems ng mga students. Yung kanilang debug ay nasa separate folder ng kanilang DOSBox. Okay? Gagamitin nyo itong DOSBox. So, dalawa yung platforms natin dito, class. DOSBox at saka GUI. So, graphical user interface. Sanay na kayo sa GUI. At ang version ng assembly na gagamitin nyo doon, yung emulator. Okay? Somehow, unfamiliar pa kayo or ambiguous pa sa inyo ang mga concepts na ito, but don't worry, you'll get to understand that later. So, yung emulator, actually, once you become familiar with DOSBox, yung emulator, kaya nyo na yung gawin on your own, even without my intervention. Kaya yung mga emulator-based na activities natin, i-assignment ko na lang yun. Isang activity na lang yun compiled. So, lahat ng activities natin na emulator sa Canvas, sa dulo ko na yun ipagagawa. I will ask you to make yourself familiar doon sa mas challenging. Doon sa mas masaya, syempre. So, parang driving lang yun eh. Pag sanay kayo sa manual, kahit first time nyo sa automatic, quick overview lang ang kailangan nyo. Make yourself familiar with the rest of the stuff on your vehicle dashboard. Pwede nyo nang i-drive yung automatic na vehicle. Pag marunong kayo sa manual. Pero pag marunong kayo sa automatic, pag pinhawa kayo ng manual, most of the time, mamamatayan kayo ng makina. So, every time you try to stop the vehicle, chances are the machine itself will stop as well. Okay? At similar here, yung CLI nyo ang manual. At ang inyong GUI, yun yung emulator base. Yun ang automatic. Alam nga naman ituro ko sa inyo yung madali. Tapos, pag pinagawa kayo doon sa mahirap, hindi nyo alam. So, it will be very hard from your end to learn alone using the more difficult one. Kaya, doon tayo sa mas masaya. Okay? So, from my end, syempre, mas madali sa akin ituro yung emulator base. Okay? Pero, ano naman yun? Hindi siya acceptable. Okay? So, you are my client, kaya ang ibibigay ko sa inyo yung mas masaya. Okay? So, make sure you have all these copies. So, ang sinasabi ko dyan na CLI base, ito yung mga systems natin. Siyempre, yung DOSBox for the CLI mode. Ito yung command prompt. Of course, everybody has a built-in command prompt. Pero, this is a separate platform. Okay? That will also lead you to your command prompt na parang nasa another virtual part ng inyong device. And then, along with that, yung ating MASAM, link, and executable. So, and syempre yung edit.com. Ito yung CLI-based na assembly language. Yung emulator-based, meron tayo dyan sa ating module. Okay? So, I hope everything is clear, class, doon sa mga system files natin. Okay? And then, syempre, going back to our modules. So, ito yung ating module 1. In principle, ito talaga yung module 1, part 2 na doon sa ating dashboard. So, ayan. So, we will practice. We will go over once again sa number system at saka yung mga debug natin dyan. Okay? So, don't worry, I'll be with you on this agenda, on this undertakings. Kaya meron tayo dito. So, hindi nyo pa nakikita yan from your dashboard. Okay? And then, using assembly language, we will talk about the data transfer instruction. So, paano ba mag-store ng data? Okay? From one register to another. So, that will be taken under this module. Kaya, ito yung kickstart talaga ng assembly language programming in this part. And then next, once you have learned how to move data from one register to another, it's time for you to understand how to perform arithmetic and logical instructions using assembly language. Okay? So, for a while, at ang makashare pala ay, ayan, sorry. So again, I repeat, so sa module 2, you will learn how to store your data from register to another register. And then module 3, once you are already familiar with storing data from one register to another or moving data from one register to another, then it's time for you to learn how to manipulate arithmetic and logical instructions or tell your processor to execute arithmetic and logical instructions. So basically, class, you will really talk to your model. So yung mga model of processors na binigay nyo sa akin earlier, yan yung mga kakausapin nyo dito sa subject na to. Okay? So we have here arithmetic and logical instructions. So level up na ito ng assembly programming. And then you will have your GT, of course. And then your project proposal will come along in this module. Like I said, right before your midterm exam. Okay? And then may mga practice labs na tayo ng emulator. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na GUI-based na assembly programming. Ayan. So, kaya naka-disable pa yan kasi history-wise, kapag preempted kayo ng GUI-based, mas nahihirapan kayo sa CLI-based. Kaya, alisin muna natin yung GUI. Ang first na dapat nyo matutunan, manual. driving. Okay? Pag nasanay na kasi kayo dun sa automatic, it's kind of difficult to understand the manual. Okay? So, and chances are, sasabihin nyo, ay, ayoko nung mag-manual, dito na ako sa automatic. However, it's not acceptable. For future computer architects, you need to understand the foundation. And the foundation is the manual way of talking to your microprocessor. You cannot design and build a new model of microprocessor or microcontroller without understanding that in a traditional manner. Okay? So, itong modern na yun eh. Okay? In fact, during our time, there's no such thing as GUI-based na programming. Lahat kami doon sa traditional. Okay? And then, for Module 4, you will understand the interfacing. Ayan. Siyempre, may mga lab activities tayo. As you can see on screen. So, we have minimum of 11 activities. Lab activities. So, take note of that. And then, Module 5. So, we have different interfacing technologies. So, dito, foundation ng interfacings. And ito yung interfacing technologies. And in here, you will, by the way, dito sa Module 5, you will already use the microprocessor trainer. Ayan. So, meron naman tayo dyan sa laboratories. And then, this is your final project. Yung Module 6 is all about your final project. Ayan. Kaya, hopefully, I could give you at least a week for Module 6 to focus in your project. Pero like I said, class, we will not wait for Module 6 to start with your project. So, dito pa lang sa mga lessons na to, you will already start your journey with your project. Okay? In fact, after the Module 1, you can come up with a project proposal already. So, you can start. Kasi ito, submission na. Yung before midterm exam, submission na to. Siyempre, hindi naman kayo gagawa ng proposal during the submission. Okay? Before. Okay? Kaya, importante ang planning. Okay? And I will help you. You will not have a hard time if you will follow my instructions. Okay? So, these are the contents of our modules. Okay? Any question, class? So far? Okay? Any question? Wala na? So, everything is clear? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay? Andyan pa ba kayo? Ayan. Very good. Thank you so much for being alive. Ayan. Okay. So, as a prelude class, okay, well, nabanggit ko na kanina, yung supposedly ay prelude natin. So, sinimplify na natin kasi nga ay day 1, day 2, day 2, technically speaking. Okay? So, if I will go back to my presentation, so ang prelude natin, is all about the discussions we had earlier relevant to the description of the subject. So, ayan. And as part of to continue our prelude, so, yun nga, you have understood at this point na one of the major roles that you may take, in the future, is becoming a computer architect. Naku, isa ako sa magiging napakasaya kapag merong isa sa inyo na nabasa ko sa news. Kasi hindi pwedeng hindi yan makita sa news feed na, hey, si ganito, graduate daw ito ng Lasal, and one of the team members actually na nag-design ng bagong processor model ng Apple. Okay? O ng yung bagong base ng Intel. Ayan. So, imagine that. Hindi yung, yung isa sa mga graduates ng Lasal, nag-work sila sa PLC, sa electronics company. So, well, that is also prominent, pero mas prominent yung kayo mismo ang gumawa ng ginagamit ng mga production areas. Okay? So, ngayon, class, okay, one of the systems that run microcontrollers, so kaya pinakikita ko ito sa inyo, kasi majority of the systems are run by MCUs. Siyempre, alam na natin na ang mga computing devices are run by microprocessor. Okay? Alam na natin yan. Kaya ito, ang on top of that, na gusto kong malaman nyo. Okay? What do you see on screen? Okay? Anybody who would like to share with me his or her thoughts? How do you think all these things on screen are run by a microcontroller or microprocessor? Possible din, class, na microprocessor ang brain nitong mga nakikita ninyo on screen. So, try to imagine, ito pala ang applications ng microprocessor and microcontroller systems and design na subject. Okay? So, we call this embedded systems. Okay? So, anyone from the group who would like to share with me, okay? How do you think a microprocessor or microcontroller is applied on the following embedded systems? You can choose one. Okay, who was that? So we have Rojan. Okay, so can you give us your answer? So which system?
Sa cars and vehicles po,
Okay.
meron po siyang critical commands katulad po na may processor po na nagsisensor data katulad po sa pag-fuel injection o kaya pa nag-ooperate yung anti-lock brakes or pati yung pag-deploy ng airbags in milliseconds. Gano'n.
Ayan. Okay, very good. Rojan, thank you for your answer. So, sa ngayon, meron tayong tinatawag na SDV, Software Defined Vehicle. Yan na yung latest trends natin, class, sa vehicle industries. Kaya, may mga graduates tayo, mga engineering graduates na pumupunta dyan sa career path na yan, na yung mga bagong model ng mga vehicles nowadays. In fact, the latest one, nakita ko sa US last year when I was there last June, yung product ng Tesla. Yung meron tayong tinatawag na driverless before. Ngayon, driver-free na. As in, no human driver. At system na ang nagpapatakbo. So, yung microprocessor or microcontroller built in that vehicle, yun na mismo ang magpapatakbo sa vehicle. Wala ng human intervention. So, in fact, nung papasyal sana kami, ang sabi sa akin nung yung tinira namin doon, ang sabi nila, would you like to try riding a driver-free vehicle? Nag-hesitate ako. Okay. So, syempre, kaya sabi ko, sorry hindi ko kasi napag-aralan pa deeper yung safety and security ng driver-free. Although US naman yun, I can say na confident sila kasi may nakatabi kami na taxi as in walang tao. So, yun yung sabi nila sa akin, gusto mo ba i-try yan? So, product ng Tesla yan. Ang vehicle merong umiikot sa taas. Okay? Yun yung kanyang signal. Bukod sa signal dun sa front panel, meron siya sa rooftop ng vehicle. At may audio rin siya, siyempre. So, may makikipag-usap din sa'yo. Ang boses niya parang AI. So, actually, I regret na hindi ko tinry. Sabi ko, dahil pala tinry ko. Para actual experience yung i-share ko sa mga students. So, driver-free. Come to think of it. And imagine na time will come. Siguro kayo na yung aabutan na yung mga kids nyo susunduin na lang ng sasakyan. Hindi na kayo babayan ng driver. Okay? bibili lang kayo ng sasakyan na driver free at may driver na rin kayo. So, come to think of it, magkano ba sweldo ng driver yun? Minimum 15,000. So, imagine mo yun. Sabihin mo lang, atin mo na dyan. And, try to imagine kung yung vehicle na yun, lagyan nyo na rin ng washing machine. So, habang magdadrive at iniatin yung anak nyo, naglalaban na rin siya. Okay? So, imagine that. So, that's basically one of the examples. Another example, yes, who is Harold? Okay. Harold, can you give us your thoughts on this presentation?
Ma'am, for me po, yung audio and visual equipment po. Mostly po on
Audio and video. Okay.
Originally po yung mga TVs po natin ay yung mga analog po na TVs wherein aasa po tayo dun sa it's either through cable po or through an antenna po in order to have a way of being entertained po at our own homes po. Ngayon po, with the addition po of microcontrollers and microprocessors built into the TVs, we have a transition po from an analog TVs to the use of smart TVs or digital TVs, where our TVs now can act smart, act in a way where it can communicate with our internet po and can also communicate po with our other smart devices po like our phones and laptops po, wherein instead of being 100% po relied po dun sa ating cables po, we now instead po can fully be reliable po for the wireless technology that we have po for today.
Okay, very good, Harold. So, give yourself a star. And also, Rojan, I forgot to mention, please give yourself a star as well dun sa thoughts na ibinigay ninyo. I like the word smart. Ayan. So, there is no such thing as smart without the brain. So, syempre, di ba, pag sinabi ang tao ay smart, meron ito. So, that's why I like it when you have mentioned, Harold, yung word na smart, yung smart TV. So, kaya nga smart yan, may utak. Ayan, may brain. So, try to imagine before, that is correct. Reliant, kumbaga, dependent tayo dun sa cable lang. So, kung ano lang ang ibigay ng channel na, kung ano yung network na pinuntahan nyo dun sa channel, yun lang ang mapapanood nyo. Right now, limitless. So, with the use of your cloud-based feeds, whether it's video, in fact, pati FM, nasa TV na rin. Dati, may radyo ka, meron kang TV. Ngayon ay all-in-one na. Okay? Very smart. Okay? And hindi mangyayari yan without the microprocessor or microcontroller na built-in doon sa loob ng ating TV set. Okay? Whether it's an audio or for audio purposes or visual or a combination. Okay? So, very smart. Thank you, Harold. So, plus 1 star. Let's have another one. Okay? Before we end this slide and we wrap this up. Another one. Who would like to get a star? Anyone who would like to how about yung ating mga telco equipment? Pretty much relevant sa electronics engineer. Anyone who would like to share with me or with a group? Okay, something relevant. Ayan, so si Duwen. Okay, so Duwen, can you, is that what you would like to share with us, the telco equipment? Okay.
Since ano po kasi, parang katulad po sa radyo, pati po sa mga television, na standardize na po yung ating electronic communication na signal para po sa communications. Dati po, landline po tayo reliant kung saan the cable po siya. Ngayon, since nakapag-operate na po tayo with signals na po, wireless, may tinatawag po siyang bands po kada telecommunication para po makapag-communicate po yung millions of devices na without interfering with each other po. Parang channels, sabihin po. Since ang isang cellphone po ay may either aluminum po or anything receiver na parang makasagap po ng mga bands. Yung microprocessor po, siya po yung pipili kung ano po yung optimal na yung parang compatible po na bands po para po mag-ensure po na strong signal po at if possible po within that area.
Okay, thank you so much, Duwin. You got a star for that answer. And you know what? The technology you are referring to is what we call the fabric network. Okay, so using the fabric network, wala na tayong gaanong traffic. So, talagang nag-evolve na yung ating telco equipment. Kaya, right now, meron na rin tayong tinatawag na eSIM. So, try to imagine from the history na wala tayong digital phone, lahat ay purely landline. And then when we had this mobile phone, ang very first mobile phone which I remember I acquired, company service phone, kasing laki ng landline, yung unit. Kaya lang ako nagdadala ng malaking bag during that time pag umalis ako kasi I'm handling 12 branches that time. Lahat ng yung IT needs nila, computer needs ay in my responsibility. So kaya lang ako nagdadala ng malaking bag is because of the charger at saka yung unit mismo ng phone. At every time na may tumatawag sa akin, okay, kailangan kong tumingin sa likod bago ko siya sagutin kasi ang antena niya, okay, parang panghaplet. Okay, parang pwede nang pamalo sa sobrang haba. So, kasi pag gumanyan ako, talagang may mahaplit ako dun sa likod. So, literally speaking. So, yun yung first mobile phone that time. And then, nag-evolve with the use of modern microprocessors or microcontroller units. Okay? Na-simplify ang mga mobile phones, which is run by telco equipment, of course. Okay? So, ang latest trends ngayon, yung ating fabric technology. From the term fabric, di ba, ang cloth, ang tela natin, marami yung fabric. At ang fabric niyan, iba't iba yung direction. So, similar with our telco equipment nowadays, yung technology niya, maraming channels, okay? Kaya, imagine nyo, multiple connections, okay? Multi-processing at one time, okay? At even ang mga landlines ngayon ay digital na rin, okay? Nakabundle na rin siya doon sa mga postpaid or internet providers natin. Kaya yung ating internet, ang internet comes from the words international connectivity. So, internet. Kaya, run by telco companies din yan, using the telco equipment. So, if you will look at the network equipments to connect all these things, okay, meron tayong router, meron tayong switches or and hubs, okay? So, and then yung mga access points natin, ang bawat unit na yan, merong microprocessor or microcontroller. If you will happen to look at the ceiling sa bawat classrooms ng Lasal, okay, may makikita kayo dyan na access point, yung may LED light. Pag naka-green, ibig sabihin in good status yon. Pag naka-red, ibig sabihin walang connectivity. So, we call it access points or APs. So, dineploy natin yan when I was in ICT. So, 319 units. Alam nyo ba, class, na very smart yung mga APs na yan. Unlike yung access points natin sa bahay na distributed by different telco companies. Ang APs natin sa DLSL are quite smart. Meron kasi ang mga yung brain na. How does it become smart? Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, class, kahit saan kayo pumunta, same ang SSID nyo. You cannot do that kung ang AP nyo ay hindi smart. Kasi ang ginagawa ng ating AP sa school, kung saan best ang connectivity, doon kayo i-connect. Yung device nyo, automatic, okay? Mag-push siya doon sa inyong device. And since identity-based tayo, it doesn't matter kahit na nasa Mabini kayo, lumipat kayo sa college lobby, yun pa rin yung inyong SSID. Kasi, ang ating mga APs, okay, has the capability to detect the device based doon sa ating access list, okay? Ang access list is the list of the users, ng yung mga registered users. Naka-identity base yan. Kung student ka, naka-tap sa'yo, let's say, nakakap ka lang sa 5 Mbps. Example lang yan, I'm not saying na nakakap kayo. When I was in ICT, ang dinamit ko dyan na copy mga 20 to 50. Hanggang, in fact, yung 20 to 50 Mbps, malakas na yun. Kung guaranteed naman yung ating bandwidth kasi ang ating subscription na enterprise. Hindi katulad ng mga subscription natin sa bahay. Okay? So try to imagine how many students, how many end users we have in the community. Okay? So, ang mga APs na yan, part ng telco equipment, just like what Duwin had mentioned. So, may mga processors ng mga yan. And that's why they are capable of handling multiple users. Kaya yung APs natin dun sa MB106, okay, kahit magsabay-sabay tayo, nakaka-connect tayo. So sabihin nyo lang, ma'am, kaya lang minsan mabagal. So, well, it depends on the traffic. Okay? Siyempre, ang connectivity sa Philippines, wala pa kasi tayong sariling internet exchange. Ang internet exchange natin or IX ay nagagaling pa abroad sa Hong Kong at saka sa Singapore. Okay? In fact, yung mga internet service providers natin or ISPs, kumukuha yan ng under yan ng internet exchange sa Hong Kong or Singapore. Yan ang dalawa nating providers. Okay? Ang buong Pilipinas. That means, kung kayo ay mag-access ng YouTube, and then let's say, ang channel na yon, ang server, kailangan kumuha ng data sa server sa Pilipinas. Okay? Pupunta muna yung packet nyo o yung request nyo, dadalhin muna sa, let's say, sa Hong Kong ang IX nyo. Dadalhin sa Hong Kong, and then magbabalik ang Hong Kong ng feedback, so packet reply, okay? And then, saka pa lang kukuhanin ng Hong Kong yung data sa Pilipinas, babalik ulit ng Hong Kong, babalik ulit sa Pilipinas na requestor. So, that's how it works, class, using the internet exchange. Yan actually ang isa sa mga bills na hinihintay ko sa ating mga senador na mag-create ng government-owned na internet exchange. Kasi ang ating Wi-Fi ay basic utilities na part na ng basic utilities like water, electricity. So, mga basic na yan. You cannot operate, okay? You cannot work, in fact, without that already. Pwede naman, pero hindi effective or hindi rin efficient. Okay? So, hinihintay ko, baka pag may electronics engineer na naging senador or congressman, baka may magpasa na ng bill na yan. Kaya lang ang babanggay ng mga yan ay malalaking telco. Okay? So, good luck sa kanila. Well, kailangan ng political will. Okay? And imagine nyo, class, kapag nangyari yan, okay, mararamdaman nyo yung internet sa Pilipinas na kapareho ng internet experience abroad. Imagine when I was in US, yung dina-download ko dito na naubos na ang aking isang tasang kape na hindi pa natatapos yung downloading. Doon, seconds lang. So, yun ang magiging difference. Kasi, try to imagine na ang masisimplify nyo, yung back and forth papunta sa internet exchange, wala na yung pasikot-sikot on the spot na ang line of sight na sa atin. Okay? So, thank you for your sharing, Duwin, sa telco equipment, also sa naunang dalawa. So, si Harold at si, sorry, I forgot the other one.
Duwin po.
Yun, okay. So, si Dian, sorry. So sa ngayon ay kakabisaduhin ko pa ang mga names nyo. So please bear with me. Well, anyway, once we meet face to face, most probably I will get to acknowledge you more. So I'm very much thrilled to see you inside our classroom using our face-to-face modality. Okay, so etong lahat na nakikita nyo on screen, okay, regardless kung nabanggit or hindi. So even yung mga appliances natin like washing machines, andyan run by microcontrollers na. Kaya lahat ng companies that are building if you happen to read our homepage, kailangan nyo ng background nyo sa logic circuit at saka yung inyong programming language dito sa subject na ito. Plus. Syempre, yung mga materials na makikita nyo doon sa ating Canvas. Okay? So, if I may go back to my presentation, at this point, I hope clear na yung ating subject. Okay? And clear na how this subject will help you whatever your target career path is. But most importantly, if you would like to be a future computer architect, medyo bold yung dream na yun. Pero wala namang imposible. Kung kaya ninyong mangarap, kaya ninyong tuparin yung pangarap nyo. Okay? So, if at this point ay hindi pa pumapasok sa inyong isipan, becoming a computer architect in the future, I hope na i-entertain nyo in your mind at this point. Okay? Kasi isa yan sa mga prominent careers or roles for engineers like us. Okay? So, to sum it up, yung applications na yan, ayan. First and foremost, computer and electronics. Siyempre, run by microprocessors. And yung simula number 2 hanggang number 8, majority run by microcontroller units, including itong automations. Well, of course, there are items here na run by both. Merong computer at the same time, may MCU din sa isang circuit. Okay? So, it's either microprocessor or microcontroller or a combination, hybrid. We call it hybrid systems. Okay? Kaya, these are majority of the applications. Okay? So, actually, that ends our simplified orientation na in Module 1. Okay? Simplified yung introduction ng ating Module 1. Okay? So, let me go back to you in our GMeet. Okay? And let me share with you yung ating Canvas module. Okay, so everybody, I will be asking you to be with me in our Canvas module and in the installation. So, kailangan kasi ready na talaga kayo by Thursday. Didebug na tayo doon. Okay? If you will notice class, I will not discuss piece by piece yung lahat ng mga theories dito. Kasi you can read as well. You can read alone. Okay? We cannot maximize our time if I will be reading. Well, sometimes I will do that if need be, but most of the time, okay, we will not consume we will not utilize our time by reading the contents of our modules. Most of the time, proceed agad tayo sa application. Okay? So, at this point, I would like you to try, okay, Time check 10:16. We still have few minutes. I would like you to try do the installation. Madali lang naman to. Wala namang installation na gagawin sa ating wala namang mga drivers and everything. Purely copying lang noong system files doon sa inyong folder. How many of you have copied all the system files? Can you give me a thumbs up on the screen? So we have Duwen, Lowell, Sophie, Rose, Harold. Okay. Thank you. So, how about the others? Can you give me or can you raise your hand? Okay, can you raise your hand if you are not yet done with copying the system files? Okay, so we have David. Okay, Biko. Okay, so, okay, si James. So we have more than one members. Okay, sige. I-consume na lang natin yung remaining 12 minutes natin. I will be asking you to download a copy of all the system files, and those who were able to have it downloaded, try to proceed, okay, with a sample look and feel of the DOSBox. So, how will you do that? Once na makopy nyo, i-execute nyo lang, i-run nyo lang, or i-click nyo yung logo kung nasaan yung file ninyo ng DOSBox. So, just like, let me show my screen here. Okay, pero check ko rin lang kasi kung meron akong DOSBox dito. Okay, let me check yung aking. Where is my DOSBox here? Okay, narito naman yung aking DOSBox. Okay, class. While the rest are securing a copy of the system files, I will have a quick demo here. Let me show my entire screen. Okay, wag nyo na lang pansinin yung mga notifications if you happen to see one. Okay. Share ko lang. This time, I will be sharing my entire screen. So, medyo may mirroring lang ito. So, just bear with it. So, dito yung aking DOSBox. Here. This one. Well, ang version dito marami na kasi nagtatry ako ng iba. So, let me see kung ito ba yung version I am looking for. Ayan, kung makikita nyo sa aking screen, ano ko lang to. Ayan, maximize ko lang yung screen. Okay, do you see my DOSBox entire screen, class?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you. So, visible as in yung buong screen.
Yes po, miss.
Okay, thank you. So, if you will take a look at my screen, so ito mga basic DOS commands lang ito. So, initially, ito yung mga makikita nyo. Yan yung built-in na system file sa loob ng DOSBox. Okay? Pero, hindi tayo dyan maglalaro kasi ito, virtual drive ito, itong drive Z. Ito ay virtual drive ng DOSBox. So, kailangan mag-mount tayo ng drive. Okay? So, let's say mount. I don't know kung meron ako dito na so, AC:\backslash ko muna para yung entire drive ko. This means, class, I am telling the DOSBox that I will be using drive C as my default drive. Okay? Simply put, folder. When I say drive here, ito yung traditional term, drive. I'm referring to a particular disk or folder in GUI. Okay? So, ayan, mount drive letter, okay, mounted. Okay, so punta ako doon sa drive na yun. I'll just type cpram. Don't worry class, itong mga basic DOS commands that I am using right now, I'll teach that to you on Thursday. So for now, just take a look, and if you can do that from your end, better. But if not, don't worry. Okay? So no worries at all. On Thursday, you're gonna learn all these basic DOS commands. So C colon. So drive C does not existed. So ibig sabihin, hindi ko na-mount or meron akong local drive, which is yung kung saan man na doon yung C colon backslash. Okay? Tignan natin kung C, okay, CD, C colon, enter. Ayan. So, to change to different drive, okay, nagpunta na ako doon, pero hindi daw nag-exist. Okay, so let me check class. Let me go back to my desktop here. Okay, so ito lang ang mga challenges class. Dahil tayo ay directly will communicate with our desktop. So, kailangan ay aware kayo and do not be surprised na may mga what do you call this? May mga moments na mangyari sa inyo na sometimes parang maghahang o kaya sometimes parang dire-diretso yung inyong cursor. So, do not be afraid dahil common yan dahil we are directly talking to our microprocessor. So, let's see muna kung doon sa ating command prompt, ito yung exact command prompt natin, yung CMD. Let's see kung ayan. Ibig sabihin, ang drive C ko naka-default noong nag-install ako ng OS, ito yung naka-default. So, ito yung gagamitin ko sa mounting. Pero meron na akong assembly dito, I believe. CD, let me see, dir/w. So, I think nasa desktop, okay, or dir/s/p assembly. Let me see. So, mukhang wala sa users. So, i-quit ko na yan or escape na. CD backslash assembly o yung masam na lang hanapin ko. Masam that asterisk. So, sa inyo hindi ko yan hindi ito scripted para makita nyo yung actual na session sa ating CLI. Yun, nasa C colon backslash assembly. Okay, so yan ang gagamitin kong folder. So, escape na ako dahil nakita ko na yung masam. Enter. Okay. So, madali lang mga yan. I-ano ko na. So, C colon backslash assembly. So, yun ang i-mount ko dito sa ating DOS box. Hindi ko na ito full screen class. Kita nyo rin naman. So, mount C colon backslash assembly. Okay. Enter. Yan. And then, so, we have C colon backslash. Oh, bakit doesn't exist? Okay, CLS. Okay. Iba-mount ulit C colon backslash. The directory has to exist. Yeah, it exists. So, most probably, ang aking C colon, okay, so, ngayon lang ulit ako mag-a-assembly dito sa laptop na to. Bago yung laptop na ito, class, by the way. So, let me exit first. And then, open ulit ako. So anyway, 10:26 na tayo. So magde-demo naman ako dito. Next meeting. Ang bottom line dito, kailangan nating mag-mount ng ating default na drive. Ang gagamitin nyo class na drive, yung admin kayo at yung data disk. Hindi pwede yung protected na G drive ninyo or protected na drive sa inyong device. Okay, so mount // baka naman nasa under ng users yun. Let me check class ang aking mga folder dito. Okay, so is tap ko muna para walang mirroring. Tinignan ko lang class kung nasaan yung aking assembly. Okay, nasa Windows. Assembly. Okay. Color backslash. Yeah, okay. Now, backslash assembly. Okay. Yun din. Okay, so dito na ako sa assembly. Okay, class. So for 2 minutes, so let me show you yung aking nasa entire screen, yung ginawa ko para lang makita ninyo. So, let me share this. At this point, siguro naman ay I believe may kopya na ang lahat ng mga system files. So, pwede ninyo i-try na ito. Okay, so I'll look at the DOS box. Ayan. So, pwede naman ninyo i-enlarge. Sige, i-full screen ko na para kita nyo. So, this is how you mount. Okay? So, you may take a screenshot para magawa nyo. And then para make yourself ready next meeting. So we have here mounting ng drive or folder na gagamitin po for the entire semester for this course. And dapat pag nag-directory check kayo, makikita nyo lahat ng system files nyo dyan. Debug, edit, masa, pati yung example. Kasi yung example, we will start from there. Yung example program natin. Ang source file natin kasi sa assembly ay .asm. So, ASM short for assembly. Okay? So, and then, may makikita rin kayo dito sa screen. Meron dyan text file. May okay lang na walang text file. Basta ang kailangan na dyan, yung lahat ng nakikita nyo dun sa system files folder. Okay? So, let me go back to my dashboard here. Ayan. So, ayan class. Stop sharing na muna ako. And then, let me maximize my dashboard. Okay, it's 10:31 already. And magla-lunch break pa tayo. So, I hope everything is clear with what we had today. So, can you give me a thumbs up if everything that we had taken today are clear from your end? Thank you so much. So, at this point, I will already end our session. And I hope to see you next meeting. So, online ulit tayo, but we will make the most out of it. So, even if it's online. Okay? So, thank you so much, everybody. And God bless you all. So, congratulations sa lahat ng mga nakakuha ng stars today. Please don't forget to keep track of your accumulated stars. So, anong date nyo nakuha at ilang stars. So, from your end. Para pag nagpasabit ako, meron kayong basis. Ano? Okay, so thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for the hearts. Ayan. So,
Thank you po.
thank you.
Thank you po,
Thank-
Miss.
Okay.